Welcome back to Anything Goes. I'm your 5-Wing 4 host, Madison.
And I'm your 9-Wing 1 host, Caden. And we make a podcast about the Enneagram.
Yep. So just some, disclaimers, announcements. We are not safe for work. We are not Christians. We are not Enneagram experts. We're just Enneagram enthusiasts. And we did not prepare for this podcast at all.
Yep, this it's kind of crunch time now, so it'll be a short one.
Yeah.
Hopefully short but sweet.
Yes. I don't know about Caden, but I definitely got overrun by the holidays and everything. So,
Yep.
we're also not going to be doing our episode on the withdrawn types, which you probably could tell from the title. We're just doing a quick episode, so you actually get one this month. And I can meet my my New Year's resolutions of
Deadlines.
yeah. So today we are going to do Bang, Marry, Kill, the Enneagram types, and maybe even Bang, Marry, Kill the triads if we have enough time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and next month you will get the withdrawn types. So, all right. Do you have anything to add before we jump right on in?
Nope. But if you want to reach out to us, give us feedback on this episode, suggest stuff for future contents, you can find us on all of the social media platforms. At EnneathingGoes@gmail.com is our email. We're on Twitter at EnneathingGoes is our handle. I think that's pretty much what we use.
Yeah, that's about it. And we
Yeah.
don't even really use the Twitter that often, which
Yeah,
will be
that's fair.
changing. Will be changing because that's on
You're gonna
my
tweet. I
yeah.
don't know how to tweet. I feel old already. I'm like,
You
I
have
just don't
access? You
understand.
still have access to it. I sent you
I
the
yeah, I have
okay.
access. I even have my own Twitter. I just never do it.
I know. That's the thing. I also don't use Twitter at all, and I
Social
think
media
that's
is for
why.
lurking.
Yeah, I don't really use Twitter at all. I mainly use Reddit, and I have started using TikTok, but I think it's really bad for me specifically as a type 5. Um
Interesting.
yeah, okay. So a little tangent. Um I've been thinking about this, and I am not someone who specifically like social media is not particularly bad for me because I don't use it to compare my life to people. I'm not like, "Oh my gosh, they have a house and a kid. I'm falling behind in my life." TikTok though. TikTok is bad. Because it's a lot of 1-minute videos on my specified interests. So I'll just spend time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I have hardly any funny content or anything in my For You. I follow a bunch of beekeepers because in the
It's
next
all
5
just instructional how-tos.
yes, no, that's exactly what it is because okay, so
Oh gosh.
my 5-year plan, I want to get a house, and when I get a house, I want to do beekeeping. So I follow a bunch of beekeepers and I watch all their content, right? I want to go garden and I love plants. So I follow a bunch of horticultural TikTok. Um I'm substitute teaching now and teaching, and eventually my 5-year plan includes having kids within that 5-year plan. So I've been following a bunch of people on gentle parenting and a bunch of other teachers and their teacher tricks. Um yeah, and so it's all instruction manuals and oh, financing. Financing, I follow a couple finance people on TikTok, and so I just scroll and I'm like, "Ooh, I need to do that." Scroll, "Ooh, I need to do that." Scroll 1-minute tutorial, "Ooh, I need to do that." Oh, I also follow people who I follow the people who make lunches for their husbands. And I'm like, "Ooh, I
Like
need
the
to do
bento
that."
box stuff.
Yes, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to do that for my lunch on Monday." And I scroll and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good recipe for dinner."
Maybe one way of helping with that is just keep an actual physical list.
Oh.
of things that you see that you're like, I'm gonna do, and then limit yourself to like, I get 5 items off of my TikTok list, and then I need to go do them before I could watch more TikTok.
That might help, honestly. But yeah, I have spent most of the day just scrolling through TikTok. Because it's like there's so much information and I
Library
love it.
ebooks are my
It
candy. That's my social media candy is library ebooks.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I it's bad for me because I will do nothing else and I will do none of the things on it, but I just ferret them away. Especially like I have been creating like an e-list. Like I have like a note set up with the specific TikToks for like when I can have my own apiary for bees and stuff. And like when I have my own like outdoor garden because I don't have any outdoor space to grow plants at all right now because I don't even have a patio. So like when I get that, yeah. Books I need to read before I have a child all about like gentle parenting and stuff. So I have my little lists. And I think another problem though is that a lot of it is info for like future, like when I get the house, when I have the
Mm.
kids. It's not a lot of stuff I can implement now. Like
This is
very
why
few of it.
you just need separate notebooks, right? You need like a house notebook
Uh-huh.
about like all of your house things, and you need like a parenting notebook about all the parenting things.
Yeah.
And then you just like start taking notes, doing research.
But yeah, so TikTok is bad for me and I don't think I will do an Enneagram TikTok because it'll be just an excuse to be on TikTok longer and I don't think that's good for me. Though I might
Mm.
start an Enneagram Reddit because I've been doing more stuff on Reddit. But the problem with Reddit is that a lot of the users are toxic. Like it's a toxic environment and sometimes like that's why I don't have as much of an issue with just mindlessly scrolling through Reddit because it's like, okay, I hit toxic bottom. That's enough for today. I gotta leave.
I
So,
can see that from what little I've been on Reddit.
mhm. It's not always the most wholesome of places. So, anyway, um, our episode,
Yes. The short one
the
that we're
short,
doing now.
yeah, the short one that we're doing now, that's gonna be next to no useful Enneagram content. That's oh, warning. This is not gonna include a lot of useful Enneagram content. This is gonna be more for fun, because we're going to be doing, like we said, bang, marry, kill the Enneagram types. So if you're here for personal growth, I don't know why you're listening to our podcast in the first place. This is definitely not the episode.
No, that it would be a stretch. Like you'd need to warm up for that stretch.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to start with type ones?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, we're categorizing them. Okay.
Yes. So it's
Yep.
just bang, marry,
Just
kill
off the
each
bat.
type. Yeah. We could probably mix it up and like ask some questions. Like I think
Hmm.
I have like a tailored question to you, which
Hmm.
is like my tailored one would be bang, marry, kill 936 for you.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
I think I killed a 9, which I don't know what that says about myself. Um, image. Maybe that I'm self-centered in the sense that I don't think um I think having two of me would be too much. Do you know? Like in the hypothetical where you're like, oh, if you have a clone of yourself, how would you like get along with your clone? Um, not that all nines are clones of each other, but I think that the 9 is just enough of the same tendencies where I'm like, I don't know if I could live with you or even have an intimate encounter with you. Who would take charge there? So that's a big tangent, but the 9 has to go. And then I think I marry the 6 and then bang
Interesting.
the 3. Because here's the thing, um, I would get so like in terms of, I'm just trying to think about like the day to day of living with a 3 in like a marriage
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and not even just like a long-term relationship, but like marriage as an institution and all that comes along with it. And I just don't know if me and the 3 would could get along. I
Yeah.
think we could get along just fine, but I think that there would be a lot of tension there. Whereas
Yeah.
I think that me and a 6 could like kick it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. So,
You for your lines of integration, disintegration.
um,
So 5,
7 and
7,
8.
8.
Um, so I kill the 8 right off the bat.
Interesting.
I kill the 8. Mainly
Because
because
they can't be you can't become them. Is that the idea? You can't be
I
more evolved than me.
well, the thing is, I was even thinking about, like, in the shower today, I was thinking about positive encounters with 8s that I've had, and I can only think of one positive 8 influence in my life, and the problem with that is that even though she was positive and she was amazing, her name was Maya. She was my freshman first semester teacher of acting in
Hmm.
college. She did wonders for my acting. I would take her classes again in a heartbeat. Like, I love this woman to death, but I still, to this day, have nightmares about her. Yeah. We're talking August, September, October into November of 2015. I still have nightmares. I have, like, even like I think 2 weeks ago, I think this is why I was thinking about her, had a nightmare of forgetting my journals because we had to keep an emotional journal and, like, a dream journal, and we had to journal for her class, and we had to turn them in, like, every Friday,
Hmm.
and I have nightmares about forgetting my journals because she would do a public call out in class. She'd be like, "You can't even just write about your life. Like, you forgot to even just live your damn life and write about it, huh?" And she
I
class, so I still have nightmares.
I wonder, do you and we're typing other people here, which is not the best practice, but that's what we do all the time. Do you
Mhm.
think that she had a 7 wing or a 9 wing?
It's hard to tell because I only ever saw her in a teaching environment.
That's fair.
Um,
Because I've met 8s that are very gentle in professional spaces.
I want to say 7 wing just based off of energy. Um, but then again, like, also maybe 9 because she was also very connected to, like, people and their emotions and things like that, and very, like, definitely not a 2 going to 8, like, very 8 energy, but was definitely ready to be like, "You're having a bad time right now? You know what? You need to take time in your personal space. Let's go. Let's have a chat. Let's cry it
Hmm.
out together. Let's," like, there have been multiple times in her class where I've cried with her. Like, that was another reason that I might still have nightmares about her, just because public emotions, like, 3 times a week for an
Yep.
entire fucking semester, and she would get it out of me too. She would, and I'd be like, "Maya, I don't understand why you need to know this. Like, I don't know why we need to talk about my fear of commitment. Like, please, let's stop."
This is for therapy.
I know, like, this is for therapy, and, like, you keep saying that you can't act, and, like, that can't acting can't be your therapy, but here we are having discussions that I need to have with my therapist and not you. So, even the positive interactions that I have with 8s still give me nightmares, like, 6 years later. And she's the only 8 that I can submit in my mind of, like, overall positive interaction. Would love to even just hang out with her now as, like, a teacher, would love to teach with her, would love to still work with her.
Hmm.
And, like, she's one of the only 8s that I can think that about, and still just fear.
Yeah.
So, I gotta kill the 8. Um,
Okay.
I gotta fuck the 7. Because 7s, even tempered with the 6 wing, 7s get me into trouble. Like, I can't, they gas me up, but they gas me up too much. And like I've even had the conversation like with Alyssa before about how like she was getting her group to like go up and like film in the one area for a group project. Like I would be on that shit, but imagine married. Like I think
You
a
would be doing that shit all the time.
yeah, and like imagine if Alyssa and I lived together. Like you've told me before, like we need to get together with like the bees in the garden and like the basically cottage core stuff.
Yes.
Like just
Like,
imagine us living together. We would have
oh
like
gosh.
a full ass apiary. We'd have a huge garden. Like like it would be great, but it would also be like taking over my life in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Right now I have KJ to balance and be like, you know what? Maybe you don't need 50 plants in our one bedroom apartment. Like maybe you don't need that. So
Ugh.
I think there would be zero balance, but I know I
Yeah.
would have fun in the bedroom with sevens. I'm pretty sure I have been in a bedroom with the seven. I think. I'll ask you your thoughts later because I don't want to maybe put their info out.
On
Um,
air. Yeah.
yeah, but I think they were a seven maybe, and I know we had a good time. So fuck the seven in a good way. Um, and marry a five because I feel like we would have nice. Like I don't feel like it would be too much fiveness. I feel like I get along pretty well with fives, and I feel like we communicate in the same way, especially in regards to emotions. And so I think we would have a very healthy relationship in
Hmm.
regards to just communicating, chore allocation, things like that. Plus, I know how to make a five feel loved, I think. And I think a five would know how to make me feel loved. So I think we'd be in a good place.
Okay, so let's move on to ones.
Okay. I would marry a one, I think.
Interesting. Um, ooh, I don't think that I would do very well marrying a one. I think um, what I've noticed specifically, ones are very like shame driven in an
Hmm.
external way,
Hmm.
right? Because it's also internal, right? So they externalize it. And what I've noticed is that the closer you are to someone, the more that comes out. Like the closer that relationship is to the one,
Hmm.
the more the boundaries between the internal and the external. Like a one might be able to control their judgment of other people fairly well, but the more you get into their inner circle, if they haven't dealt with their own internal judgment of themselves, and the more that you kind of come into that sense of being part of their lives and themselves and how they imagine themselves, the more that judgment can turn on to you. And I think that I would respond really poorly to that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense in that analysis?
Yeah. So would you fuck a one or would you kill the one?
See, I then now it's 50-50 because um I think I don't think I would kill the one,
Mm.
but I've never
Mm.
I don't have any experience with ones, so I don't know how that would go. But I think I would choose fuck
Fuck
instead
the
of kill.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the reason I would marry a one is because the shame thing doesn't affect me very much. Like the older I get, the more I realize I'm not as in touch with shame as
Hmm.
sometimes even maybe as I should be. Um
That's that. Is that like a mind type thing?
I think so cuz the thing is I rationalize so many of my actions before they even happen that
Mm,
like if shame happens, I'm like if someone tries to shame me, it's more like, no, there was a reason for this happening. I get why it was wrong. I see where my mistake went, and I know how I can fix that later.
hmm
I also think like in my parenting, my like the gentle parenting style is specifically a style that tries to avoid shame and guilt
hmm
in changing patterns of behavior. And I think I work very well with that, especially in applying it to a school setting. I don't think my mind works well with shame. It just doesn't process it very well. I have felt shame and like, stuff, but it doesn't affect me very much. Um and I know that from like talks with like my dad, and like I was in a relationship with a one. Um you remember my one?
Hmm.
Yeah. And it just
I
didn't
remember.
Yes, it just didn't get on to me. Like I'd be like, "Ah, that's cool." Like, I don't feel that shame, and I don't, when they try and shame
You
me, I'm
don't
like,
carry it in the same way.
yeah, I don't carry it in the same way. And in all honesty, in my relationships with ones that I've had, especially my close ones, I've actually had positive reactions with helping them deal with their shame and
Mm,
process it in a more logical way. Because I'll sit there and be like, well, no, you did this because of X, X, and X. And so you just did the best you could with the circumstances. So, like, don't beat yourself up. And then they're like, I did though. And it's like, yeah, like it takes a couple times before that actually happens. But it's like, so I think we could vibe pretty well. I
okay.
think, I get along. I have a lot of one friends. I vibe with one family members. Been in a relationship with a one. We got along. There was that connection. I like ones. Um,
The next one is a bit of a sticky situation for you. So twos,
um,
you know,
twos is hard. Because the problem with twos is I have a very gut reaction of like, if they're unhealthy, then I kill them with fire. Like I can't do it. Like get me away because of childhood trauma. But then I very much love my two. And we're, discussing marriage and like picking out rings and stuff. So I will go with marry, with the caveat that they have to be healthy. I'll go marry, because when they are healthy, it's a very great, like, it's like some of the best relationships you can ever have. And like I've listened to 5 podcasts, and like all of the fives that I've listened to have a two friend or a two in their life that's like they're like best friends. And like this has
mm,
been a common theme with most of the fives that I've found, is that eventually they find a two that they like and they stick with. And it's like, that's my two. And it's usually a very deep emotional connection, whether in friendship or relationship. So marry the
okay. I think I'm actually gonna kill the two.
two.
No
Yeah.
offense to your partner there. Um, yeah. So I, I not that I have anything particularly against twos. I just don't see us really being compatible in a. I think most of the twos that I've met are kind of pushovers, you know,
Hmm.
not necessarily in their day-to-day life, but they can be in it. It gets tricky. This like expressing needs and desires gets tricky in relationships, from
Hmm.
what I've heard. And I also have a problem with that. So if I have a problem and they have a problem, who's driving the bus? Like we're like I I need someone who's going to prompt me to be like, okay, you said you're okay, but are you really okay? And then I go, oh, wait, let me actually think about that and not just respond. Um, and then I don't know. That's so
Yeah. Um, type 3. Um, I will fuck the 3.
I think yeah, I mean I already put in my 9, 3,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
So
Fuck the
I think
like.
we're in agreement on that.
Yeah. I think that they. I think the reason why is that they're like achiever and image status and stuff. I don't know that I could marry one. I definitely don't want to kill them because I do genuinely like threes. And um I think threes would just be good in bed because they're like, I have to be good in bed. Like I think the shame would like get to them if they thought that they weren't good in bed, you know?
Just gotta make sure you get one that's not like actively avoiding any negative input that would
Mhm.
put in the contrary, you know?
Yeah.
Because some people are just like, oh yeah, I'm great. And then they've actually never asked. They have no fucking clue. They're just like assuming, and they're probably really bad. It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
So,
All right, ready? Type
mm-hmm.
4. What do you think for 4?
Mm. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this one a little bit. Do you have an answer?
I don't either. Can you want to skip and go to 5
Can we
then?
can we skip fours? Yeah. Sorry, fours are too special.
Sorry, 4s.
Fives.
We'll come back to you. 5.
Yeah.
I already said I would marry a 5. I'd marry a 5.
I think I'd also marry a five.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like fives generally.
Mhm.
I think we get along all well. I don't know if I've ever had a lot of chemistry
Mhm.
with a bunch of fives, but I've had a lot of five friends that there's
Mhm.
some kind of like chemistry in the friendship way with.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think that I don't know, I'm compatible.
Yeah. 6s. I both of my siblings are 6s. So like the
So
thought
murder.
like I got to kill them, and it's nothing against you 6s. It's purely because the thing that pops into my mind first is my siblings, and I like no, kill. Based on that
I've
alone.
already I'm just I feel like this game doesn't work for me, and mostly because I end up um marrying most people. I think it's just I'm just like, let's be friends. I don't know what you're talking about. We can get along.
The 9, so afraid of loss, can't kill anyone.
Exactly. I'm not gonna like give up on this relationship. No, I have to murder you. What?
Mhm.
Yeah, sevens.
Um,
I mean, I'm also gonna say marry sevens because
'Cause
that's my
yeah,
partner's a seven.
I'm gonna
But
stick to fuck a 7, just because
mm,
the reasons before still stand.
sevens do fuck in sort of the colloquial sense.
Mhm. 8s, I already went over I'd kill
You
8s. That
kill.
still stands.
See, here's the thing where I don't think I could marry an eight though. I
Mhm.
think that would not go well.
Mhm.
Um, and I wouldn't want to kill an eight because I would lose. So, so I think they'd be a good time.
Okay. Having experience in that, they're not.
No?
No. My worst ever sexual encounter was with an 8. It was a bad time, and I thought we had all the chemistry. I thought no. They don't last very long in bed. Okay, I can't say they as a whole, because it was one. I'm still mad about it to this day. Like he no, like just I fuck that 8. Fuck that 8. Don't actually fuck 8s. Don't do it. Maybe 8 women, maybe. So maybe you being straight, maybe you could. But if you're into mid, don't fuck the 8, kill the 8. There you go.
Thank you. Good advice. Good advice.
9s, I too would marry a 9. I think 5s and 9. I think um the problem is I think 9s in like romantic relationships with 5s, I think that it can go awry easily.
Yeah.
Cuz like I like with Ash, it was very like I could always tell when Ash wasn't necessarily happy, and I'd be like, "Well, let's talk about it. What's going on?" And
Oh
then no,
no.
no,
Oh
no,
no.
no, no, and I'd be like,
That's
"Okay."
flight activated.
Exactly,
You
flight
won't see me for
activated.
3 days.
Exactly, flight activated, but then the problem is I'd be like, "Okay, we don't have to talk about it." But then I would keep doing whatever it was that I was doing that he didn't like, and I'd be like, "Listen, you can't have it both ways. Like, you just you gotta not."
Yeah.
So, like, I think I'm attracted to 9s. I think 9s are sometimes attracted to me. I think the problem is there becomes a breakdown of communication over time. And so you have to be very committed for that to work. But I'll still marry the 9. We might be better off as just a fuck, but I'll marry the 9.
I think 5s and 9s could do great as like queer platonic partners.
Yeah.
They had good communication.
Yeah. The thing is,
And now we're back around to
Reddit.
4s.
I read on
You read on
Reddit
Reddit?
all the time 9s and 5 relationships. Like there's all like in my thing, it's all these 9s and 5s. Most of the time they're asking for relationship advice. So that might not
So
be a
you
good
already know
sign.
that that's not going well.
But the thing is, a lot of other 9s and 5s who have relationships respond and like, we're perfect. And it's like, are you? Maybe that's just I don't know. I know that it's a common pairing though, at least on Reddit.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing. So I don't know. Okay, 4s. I will.
I mean, I think my gut instinct is to kill them, but I think that seems unfair. I just don't know if I could.
How many types did I kill? I don't think I killed very many. My instinct is to kill them because I only killed like 6s and 8s.
Just for more murder.
Just for
just
more
to balance
murder.
it out.
Just to balance it out. Because I think I
Yeah.
did like 3 marry, 3 fuck. And
I think the problem that I have is that like I guess maybe fuck instead
maybe. Well,
of murder.
see,
I don't know. It depends.
See, that's the thing. I was leaning towards that. I know I could never marry a 4 because
Oh no.
too many emotions. I can't deal with that. Speaking of which, I was thinking in the shower again about more Enneagram stuff. There was a 4, and I don't know why I was thinking about this conversation. Actually, I remember the thought that led me to it. Anyway, but a 4, I was just talking with them, and I was letting them vent to me, and I thought that the energy level, like they were venting, so I was at a 3 and they were at like a 5 energy level wise, which was cool because they just wanted to vent at me, and I was like, that's fine, I will just listen. That's cool. And she was fine with me being at a level 3 and her being at the 5. It was working. And then she tells me that she gets diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And now listen, my innocent ass this was exactly what I said. I said, oh, that makes sense. And she immediately goes up to a level 10 in the energy and is like, right? Like, that makes sense. Everyone I have told, immediate anger. She's like, everyone I have told has been like, oh, well, with some therapy, you can fix that, or. And she's like, all of them have had the wrong response. Oh, that makes sense is exactly the right response. You had exactly the right response. And I'm still at a level 3 emotion wise. I don't want to go up to like a 5. She's at a 10. And I'm just like, this is too much.
I think I just murdered the entire Heart Triad. I think that's what happened here.
I think you did.
I murdered 2s. I murdered 3s. I'm gonna murder 4s. Sorry. I'm sorry to all the heart people out there.
I will fuck 4s because I think I've had physical chemistry with 4s. I think.
I don't. Yeah. There's something in the 4s stuff though, where it's like the energy thing, yes. And there's also like I've met 4s that are really internal in the sense that like their version of 4ness is like you'll never get they're almost 5-ish. It's that they have the 5 wing, right? And it's like, oh, I'm so mysterious. Like you really have to dig deep. And I'm just like not the person that's gonna do that, honestly. I'm just gonna take what you give me. And then I've had 4s that it's like the opposite, which is that sort of three-ishness of the like, I'm going to talk about stuff all the time, but the only thing I ever talk about is the most basic banal shit of my day, right? And it's like elevated to the level of severe interest, but I'm going to pretend like I don't have anything interesting to talk about, even though obviously I find all this stuff interesting. And like, I
Mhm.
also don't want to talk about anything really deep, like my emotions and what I'm feeling right now.
Mhm.
And the the flip flop of that is just like a lot for me. I
Mhm.
never know what I'm going to get with a four. Sometimes, sometimes you meet four people that are very like introverted. Sometimes you meet four people. I guess that's with everybody, right? That's just people. But oh,
Mhm.
you got to have different strategies.
Yeah. I think what I've noticed too about fours is that a lot of fours tend to like me a lot. Like a lot of fours, I think it's the balance of like the shame thing, I think is where it comes
Mm.
in. Of like I think I tend to counterbalance their shame. And now that I'm thinking about it, especially like the story I just told, the bipolar or not the borderline personality disorder, a lot of people had been making her feel shame about her diagnosis. And then
Oh,
my like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Didn't make her feel any shame at all. And that's why it jumped her up because she was so excited and like felt great. Um, Thinking about Lily, some of the conversations that we've had is like, I've helped break down that shame. Like she
mm,
has had problems feeling like she's a manipulative person in the past. And then I've broken that down and the like we might have had this conversation before too, but the like everyone is manipulative.
yep.
Um but you're not malicious, so it's fine, and that helped with the shame and stuff.
Hmm.
And so I think I break down fours shame a lot if they're around me enough that I think they get drawn to that, and so I think fours are drawn to me, which I think could lead to a physical relationship. It never has, but I could see that happening.
I think my thing about the heart triad, and this is something I'm realizing for my own sort of self-awareness, is that
Mhm,
whenever people put really strong emotions into a space, I feel like I need to regulate or mediate them or deal with
mhm,
them in some way. And I don't want to do that shit. Keep your own emotions, which is why I think I get along really well with head type people because they don't put their emotions into spaces.
mhm,
They keep them locked up inside.
mhm,
And then we kind of like draw it out a little bit, little bits and pieces here and there. It's like a
mhm.
siphon.
Yeah.
Whereas like I I can enjoy being around twos, threes, and fours,
Mhm.
but generally only if it's in broader social contexts where I'm not the only person there, because
Ah.
that level of intensity
Mhm.
is like a lot.
Yeah. I I think because I don't feel my emotions very much, which oh, do I share this now or I think I'm gonna wait to share this thing, which is I came up with the perfect analogy for how I actually feel my feelings. We'll do that
Hmm.
next episode with the withdrawn because it's a whole thing. I described it to KJ and KJ was like that makes a lot of sense. Um so but like I don't really feel my own feelings and it's hard for me to even feel other people's feelings, you know? So when they're out in the room I'm like, "Hmm, I can intellectualize them and process that better, so I don't mind it." Sometimes it's really interesting and I'm like, let me just watch. Let me just watch how this unfolds. Um, when I'm asked to engage in it, though, that's when I'm like, oh, don't know. I'll sit here and keep my energy level at a 3, and you can vent at me. I'm not going up to 5. That's not no.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. Do you want to do maybe the triads? Make Mary
Yes.
kill the triads? Okay.
Yes.
So let's start with Heart Center. 2, 3, 4. Bang Mary Kill.
I killed all of them though. Um,
Do you want me to go first so you have time to think?
yeah, I need time to think.
I will marry the 2, same as before. And then my choice is between, I said fuck for both 3 and 4. So I think I'm still gonna fuck the 3. I think I do have to kill the 4 this time, just because the emotion is a lot. So marry the 2, fuck the 3, kill the 4.
I think I'm also going to marry the 2.
Really? That surprises me a little
Yes.
bit.
Yes. What's surprising to you about it?
I would have thought
I'd
that,
marry the 3.
yeah, and I
I
think
think I don't know. I've never been in a relation. I've never even had like a lot of close friendship with 3s. It's kind of hard for me to know how we get along.
Mhm,
I mean, honestly, Fra is like
mhm,
the only 3 that I've ever really interacted with
yeah,
that's our age and not like a family member who happens to be a 3, which is a
mhm,
very different relationship. So, oh, but I don't just I think that B and 2s could get along, maybe.
mhm,
We just have to do a lot of preemptive therapy.
yeah.
And then I think not to be actually I love being a follower. So I am gonna mirror exactly what you said though. I marry the 2, fuck the 3, kill the 4. So
Okay. Head types. So 5, 6,
mm,
7. Marry the 5, kill the 6, fuck the 7, which stays the exact same from our regular dynamic. So I'm perfect there.
in between, so I said both marry for 6 and 7. So I'm gonna but marry the 7 because
Mhm.
think it'd be a little bit blasphemous if I didn't at this point. Um, and between a 5 and a 6, I think I said marry for all 3, actually.
You did. Mhm.
I did. Um, I actually think that I would have more. I think I'd fuck the 5, kill the 6.
Really?
Because like I've gotten along with 6s, but in like it feels like a bro way,
Yeah.
you know?
Uh-huh.
And 5s don't feel like bros, they feel like friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe this is
Okay.
just because the people I have known that are 6s are from sports. But it's just like,
Honestly,
it just
most of the 6s I know though feel that way too, but that's also my siblings mainly. But even the other
yeah,
6s are mostly people that I've met through them, and they were just very broy too.
I just feel like s- you'd get started and you just be like, you know what? I can't do this. There's really nothing here. Can we just go like watch TV? So I'm sorry, they have to die.
Okay. Okay. Body types.
Yeah.
8, 9, 1. I would, definitely killing the 8. But I think I said, did I say Mary for both 9 and 1, I think? So I have to decide.
hmm I have an even distribution here, which I'm noticing actually I have an even distribution overall because the uh I murdered everyone in the Heart Triad
Mhm.
and I married everyone in the Head Triad, and then I had uh marry the 8, kill the 9, fuck the 1. So,
Mhm.
which is not even at all now that I'm thinking about math. Where does all the fucking go? I guess it just doesn't, just ones. Congratulations, I guess.
I What did you say? You
I
would.
said I said marry the 8 because they would
Mhm.
murder me before I could ever murder them. So, or no, did I say no? I said how I did say I said fuck for the 8. I don't think I'm married.
Mhm.
No, okay, yep. So I had fuck the 8, kill the 9, marry the 1. No, fuck the 1. I guess that is almost even distribution. I just hate nines because I'm a nine. And I couldn't, it would be almost egotistical to say, fuck the nine.
This is a really hard choice. And I don't, especially since most of the people that I have been intimate with are either 9-wing ones or 1-wing nines.
Hmm.
You know? I will go with fuck the 1 and kill the 9 purely because
You want to murder me? No. Okay. Yeah.
purely because I like getting kinky every now and then, the BDSM shit, and the ones that I've known, a lot of them have been kinky. Like
It's
I'm
that repression.
huh?
It's the repression.
It's the repression. And so I think
A la Foucault.
yeah, I think we could have, like, if I'm going for a one night stand, I think sex with nines is more like loving and intimate, and sex with ones, not that it can't be loving and intimate, but it's more like kinky. And I think for a
Hmm.
one night stand, you got to go kinky.
You're not gonna get kinks out of nine on the first night. No.
Exactly. So I think I got to go with the 1. I think I got to fuck the 1 and I think I got to kill the 9.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, no. I killed the 8. So I
You
got
killed
to
the eight. You get
I
to marry the nine.
yeah, I married the 9, fuck the 1.
Woo!
Okay, there we go.
Okay. All solved.
All solved. All right. What did you say? Cuz you had 2 fucks.
Yeah. I forgot I had two fucks. So I guess I made my decision by rewriting history though and misremembering that I would. But mm, yeah, I think I'd actually be married to an eight. I'd rather be married to an eight than to a one.
Okay. So you'll marry an
Because
8, kill
yeah,
fuck the
I've
1?
met, yeah, I've met eights before that are, that I think I could get along well with in like a long-term dynamic. It just kind of would depend on the situation and the eight. Like
Mhm.
similar to you know,
Mhm.
what did I say? Me and the two.
Yeah.
I guess that's this. They literally are integration disintegration points, so it makes
Mhm.
sense. We need a lot of preemptive therapy if that was going to
Okay.
work.
Okay. So you kill the 9, um marry the 8,
Marry eight, fuck the
fuck
one.
the 1.
We're in agreement that ones are just hot, apparently.
Ones are hot. Mhm. Okay. So that was that triad. Let me see. Harmonics. So the reactive triad, which is the sixes, the eights, and the sixes, eights, and fours. 6, 8, 4.
I mean that's easy. Like marry the six, fuck the eight, kill the four.
Um, fuck. These were 2 of my kills. I'm marrying the 4.
Nice. Fours finally get some love. I feel so bad for them.
I'm
Like,
marrying the 4. I'm fucking the 6. And killing the 8. Because I've already fucked an 8 and I never want to do it again ever.
yep.
And
Marry
honestly,
a six.
the thing is, some of my siblings' friends who were 6s were pretty hot. Um, so I think there was like a lady drill sergeant, like one of my siblings, it was my brother's drill sergeant. Um, not his direct one, but like in his same like group, like not for his platoon, but his
Hmm.
squadron. I forget how those break down. She was really hot, and I was flirting her up in the commissary. So I'd fuck her. So we'll do that. um, Positive outlook. So 7, 2, and 9. 7, 2, and 9.
Um, hmm. This is difficult. I mean, I think I'm killing the nine. That's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but my conundrum is would I rather fuck the 2 or marry the 2?
I think you have to marry the 7 because you said it was blasphemous if you didn't.
It is blasphemy if I don't marry the 7, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll marry the 7, fuck the 2. Although I think I would rather marry a 2
Really?
overall. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
If we're ranking choices here.
Okay, cool. I would marry my 2. I would, because I
Hmm.
do think I have genuinely good relationships with 2s. I think even if I didn't have my 2, I think I could find another deep connection with a 2. We just have to work on it. Um, I would fuck the 7. 7s and I have a great time, and I'd have to kill the 9.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What?
I think I might have only chosen 2 just because I'm in a great relationship with the 2 right now.
Probably.
I think I have to reverse it. I think I have to kill the 2 and marry the 9 because I think overall,
You would
like,
get better
I think I would
statistically of all of the
statistically. Uh-huh.
okay, is if that's how we're approaching the sort of like you get all of the Enneagram types sorted in the world and you get one person randomly chosen for you.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's a
think
whole new ball game then.
I think the thing is, I could
Because I
have
think if I
a
couldn't have go
uh
ahead.
Oh, you can go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think if it wasn't specifically my 7, I might just choose to fuck the 7 instead of marry the 7.
Yeah. I think that's what tipped me off because, like, it's usually, like, the 5s will have one special 2 and fuck all the rest of the 2s, and I think I found my special 2, and so if it weren't my specific 2, I think that because, like, if a 2 is unhealthy at all, like, I can't. So I'd have to kill the 2. Whereas 9s, we could at least
You've
make it
seen me
work.
at unhealthy.
Like, I've seen you at unhealthy, you've seen me at unhealthy. I think if we were married, we could work through it, you know? We
Yes.
could we could save the marriage, we could stay married for the kids.
I ethically disagree with that decision, but
I do too. We
yeah.
could co-parent very well.
You know what? My parents co-parent splendidly and they've been divorced for 20 years. So
They're a 2 and a
they have
5.
they have weekly game nights.
They're a 2 and a 5, so maybe I should marry the 2.
Yeah.
Okay, final answer, I fuck the 7, I kill the 2, I marry the 9.
Okay.
Okay. The, um, comp competency, so 5, 1, and 3, which is gonna be the
Yeah.
hardest because I said I was gonna marry all of these, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. We've agreed that ones are hot, but I also think that threes are hot.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think I said murder both of them.
Mhm.
So that's hard. But I'm marrying the 5, by the way. That's in case that was up for
Okay.
grabs. You know,
Mhm.
that's the decision there.
I might
Uh
kill the 5 this time.
oh, murder your double.
I might murder my double. I think I would kill the 5. I think that I would marry the 1, and I think I would fuck the 3. Because I think yeah, I think overall, 5 and 5 relationships would be too analytical,
Hmm.
and so I'd wanna marry one of the other ones, and I don't know if I would have a good one night stand with a 5. I think I need someone to take the lead with a one night stand. Not necessarily, but, like, every one night stand I've ever had, it's been more like, "You could get with it if you acted," and, like, but I need someone else to, you know. So I'll kill the 5, I will marry the 1, fuck the 3.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think I might marry the 3
Yeah?
over the 1. If we're just taking the if we're approaching it from the you get a random selection of
Mhm.
all of the different
Yeah.
people in the world and you just pick up one person, I think I can do ones in smaller doses. But it also, I think, has to be specific ones that I vibe with. I don't know. Watch me go back through this episode later and try to make a hierarchy of where I've listed everything, and it like changes midway through. It's like nothing is consistent. All lies.
So what's your
What's our next triad?
what
Oh, my
was your
final verdict?
final verdict? Bang, marry, kill.
Okay, I'm marrying the 5. I can't decide.
You gotta bang one and
Can't
kill
decide.
one.
I know. I know. My sibling's a 1, so that's hard for me to.
Yeah. It was
I
hard
also
for
have a
yeah.
mental block there,
Yeah.
even though I can admit that ones are, theoretically. Um, okay. So I'm marrying the 5. I'm gonna say that I'm murdering 3s because I'm gonna be consistent about that, and I'm gonna fuck the 1.
Nice. All right. So we have um Hornevian triads.
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna be let's start with compliant. So 2, 6, and what was it? 2, 6, and
This
who else was compliant?
I don't remember. My brain doesn't work anymore.
2, 6, and
I'm
1. That's what it was. 2, 6,
yeah.
and 1.
Man, this is rough. Um, okay. I think I'm marrying the 6, fucking the 1, murdering the 2.
What was it?
Marry the 6, fuck the 1, murder the 2.
Marry the 1, fuck the 2, murder the 6. I
Okay.
can't get over the block of my
You
sibling.
can't do it?
I can't do it. I can't do it. And I still yeah. And so 1s versus 2s overall, if I just got a random, I think I would survive better with a random 1 than a random 2. But sex with 2s is very good, can confirm. um so then aggressive. So 3, 7, 8.
Marrying the 7,
Mm-hmm.
murdering the 8. I don't. I mean, I have posited before that I wouldn't win that conflict, but I guess I'll die valiantly trying. Fuck the 3.
I will kill the 8. I will fuck the 7, and I will marry the 3.
Yeah.
That one was pretty easy. Withdrawn 5, 9, 4. Kill the 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I could survive with a random 4. Gotta be carefully selected to mesh well with my interests.
I think I would do better long term with a 5, I think. And yeah.
I think I'm gonna be controversial here in my own brain. I don't think it'll be controversial for anyone else. I'm gonna not murder the 9.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to marry the 5, kill the 4, fuck the 9.
Nice. I agree. I'm gonna kill the 4, marry the 5, fuck the 9.
Hmm.
Yeah. Very nice. And then we have the object relations triads, which is our last set of triads. These will be what we do after we get finished the Hornevian triads. So we
It's
have
like a little taster.
so we have the attachment triad, which you've already done. It's the 6, 9, 3. So we already
Yeah,
got that. Which what was it? You killed the 9,
I killed the
married the
9.
6, fucked the 3.
Yes.
Okay. So I will kill the 6, This is a hard one. I think I would last overall better with a 3.
Mm.
Oh, actually, maybe I wouldn't. They're so image driven. I don't. I just got like a remembrance of like all of the 3. So, whenever you are in any kind of acting program at a college level, they're either a 4-wing 3 or a 3-wing 4. Like, that's it. Like, that's 75% of the people in acting programs.
Mm.
You'll get a little bit of extras, and most of them will still have an attachment to either a 4 or 3. I'm a 5-wing 4. That's why I was there. So, and those 3s, when they were unhealthy, were like, ooh. So I think I'll marry 9, and I think I will fuck 3 and kill 6. But it was a close one. It was a close one. It
Touch and go
nearly
there for a little bit.
it nearly didn't happen. It was nearly marry the 3, fuck the 9. All right. So the frustration triad, which is 7, 1, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Easy for me. Kill the 4, fuck the 7, or yeah, kill the 4, fuck the 7, marry the 1.
Kill the 4, marry the 7, fuck the 1.
Yeah. And rejection triad, 5, 8, 2. Kill the 8, fuck the 2, marry the 5.
I think I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's shocking because I'm not an agreeable person by nature at all. But
I think that was very informative, and by very informative, I think it did nothing for actual Enneagram stuff. You just learned a lot about us as people.
yeah. And I
Um,
think I changed my opinion about 5 times throughout the
yeah.
course of doing it.
I feel like I stayed very consistent. I think, I think the only times it was more like you either have to like you have to change one of them, is the only time I actually changed, I think.
I'm not a consistent person. It's all situational.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening
Yep.
to this quote unquote short episode.
Um,
Um,
I'd like to hear what you guys did. If you want to
yes.
email us your type and like your bang Mary kills of the same ones we did. I'll list them out in the show notes so you can just kind of copy and paste, so it'll be easy. Um, yeah, I would honestly genuinely love to see that.
Yes.
I might
That
post
sounds
that. I might post that to Reddit just to see
to
what.
Reddit.
Yeah, just to
Get
see
all
what I
the
get.
5s and 2s in relationships talking about how great their lives are.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. That might be something I do. We might talk about that a little bit next episode.
Okay.
Um, so email, tweet us at EnneathingGoes@gmail.com. Support us on Patreon. Christmas is coming up.
Yes.
Buy us something for Christmas, please. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.